Today I'm taking you to a place where I actually have rich history, and that is every time I drive by this place, you guys don't know this, every time I drive by this place, my finger gets all cramped up like this, my hand, because one time there was an air show on this property. We're actually on a former Air Force base right now that is turning into something that's just fantastic, which we're going to share with you. But I actually signed in one day 8,000 autographs on this piece of property. And let me tell you, like I says, I was just like this, and I shudder every time. I've never seen so many people coming up wanting a mugshot that didn't have a badge that said police on it. So it was just, it was just fascinating. We are here at in the city of Irvine. This is Irvine, isn't it?
This is the city of Irvine.
This is in Irvine here in Southern California, and they have something that's called the Great Park. And I have the two gentlemen here that actually have their pulse on this place right now. We have the one guy who they keep on saying he's a chair. He don't look like a chair to me, but that's Larry Agrin. And this actually, this whole concept was really thrusted by you.
Well, yes, of necessity. We had a major struggle in this county when the Marine Corps Air Station at El Toro was decommissioned in the 1990s. The question then became, what would this land become? And there was a proposal for a major international airport here. Some of us thought that was a pretty bad idea and fought against it, and instead came up with the idea of a major metropolitan park, which we now call the Orange County Great Park. And that was voter approved after 4 very contentious initiatives countywide. That was voter approved in 2002, and it became part of the city of Irvine and our land in 2005.
And by the way, I remember that fight. It was kind of like with the Hatchfields and McCoys, and you guys the way you're shooting stuff. Like right. That was really amazing.
Very tough struggle, but nobody got hurt physically. A lot of feelings were hurt, but we worked it out, and now we're on our way to building a major metropolitan park, twice the size of Central Park in New York.
Wow, now that's very impressive, and that's where Tom comes in. Tom Larson, actually a name I've known for a number of years, but we never had the opportunity to meet until today, and there you go. And Tom, you are behind all of the greenery that we're standing around right now.
Yeah, this is the Farm and Food Lab of the park. It's the educational portal that introduces people that come into the park to all of our agricultural activities here in the park. Our Great Park Community Farm, 114 acres. Of course, the Farm and Food Lab here, about 3 acres, where we're growing crops, having classes. It's an educational center where everybody from parents and children and anybody that comes into the park can become more educated, more aware of farm to fork kinds of programs, horticultural programs, water conservation programs, wellness programs. So it's an exciting area for activity and education here at the park.
One of the things I find very exciting is the diversification of things that you're doing right here, and that's just from the ag side of it. And we were talking earlier, and what was your name again? I forgot what your name was. Jan was telling me you guys have from sports arenas to museums to, you know, all kinds of fancy stuff that's coming here. But right now, I think it's exciting that you guys are incorporating this agricultural aspect, because I believe we were talking about that's what this place originally was.
Absolutely. This was the Irvine Ranch, some of the largest lima bean fields in North America. If you were a kid and didn't like lima beans, they were coming from here. And all those agricultural and ranching operations, which were displaced by the Marine Corps Air Station at El Toro when it came here at the onset of World War II, are now being restored as part of this major metropolitan park. As far as we know, there's no other major metropolitan park in the United States of America that is incorporating a permanent commitment to agricultural farming operations as part of its larger mission.
And that's so important, because how many times have we come across young people and they have said, well, we didn't know that Swiss chard comes from the ground, or who knew that carrots grew that way, or something like that. And Tom, take us real quickly through some of the thematic gardens that you could find on the property.
Well, we have 12 raised planters here that represent different types of gardening. We have the pizza garden that really shows the ingredients, the healthy ingredients that can go into a pizza, so the children can come out and see, boy, this is where, you know, certain products come from that are on my pizza. We have the sensory garden, you know, that really can people come out and touch, feel, smell a planter. So if one is maybe hearing blind or has a problem with vision and so forth, they can come out and touch and feel and smell. They can hear the bird feeders and the bird chimes, and they can smell the roses, and they can touch the lamb's ear. They get a real experience. We have the culinary garden, you know, that with the herbs and so forth for wellness herbs and health herbs, as well as culinary herbs that people can learn what goes into a wonderful dish to spice it up. You know, we have the Indian garden. What did the Indians use to grow and to cultivate for their own food? So the children can see that. We have the raised planter gardens where one can take their ornamental landscape and learn how to turn that into an edible landscape. You know, growing food close to home at the local level, at the residential level is important, but we're also doing that here on our large farming complex where we grow abundance of food for our food banks as well as our universities as well as our school districts, and we're working with our local farmer and the school districts to show them what we can grow to supply their nutritional needs at the food programs there at the nutrition or at the school system. So we have a lot of activities here. We have compost, worm bins. We have classes here on Saturday mornings where we thought, well, we'd maybe have 50, 60 people to come out and learn about gardening and growing food. We have 200, Nick, and more coming out. People really hungry for education and ways to develop programs at their own home, becoming residential farmers and sharing that food not only with their families but with their neighborhoods.
And at the same time, you're inviting the wildlife with your butterfly gardens, and we see that we have an area where a rabbit, you know, wanted to visit, but you're kind of warding them off. So there's a lot of activity that's going on here.
Very humane way too. Those rabbits, we just ask them to leave, and we do it gently. But behind us, we have the butterfly garden with Mexican sage. It's in bloom, and we have hummingbirds, and we're increasing bird life. Working with Scott's Miracle-Gro, they're really involved in restoring the populations of songbirds, and so they have special bird feeds that we're introducing to the garden, special bird feeders and so forth. So one of our future sponsors, Scott's Miracle-Gro, is really involved in helping us develop and enrich our garden experience for the community as well as the gardeners, as well as the park visitors and so forth. So it's an exciting place to be with all the agricultural going on here at the park.
And it just doesn't stop there with all the agriculture, because we know that our cameraman, he's been eyeing that big old ball that's over there, and then this guy, you guys got a gigantormous balloon that's over here too.
We do. It's a very large tethered helium balloon, and about 20-25 people at a time can go up and get literally a bird's eye view of not just the great park to be, but really all of Orange County and beyond. On a very, very clear day, you can see all the way to downtown Los Angeles from here, about 40 miles away. So it's a wonderful experience. And when you think about it, we make that balloon ride available to people free of charge. Anybody can come out here. The idea is this is public land. We own this in common. We want people to come out and enjoy their land and enjoy the benefits that come from the land. And that's a kind of a new concept, public space for public benefit.
Well, I applaud both of you and everybody who's volunteering and being a part of this. Speaking of which, is there a website that people can come to, visit, and to see if they wanted to volunteer, get involved with the programs, or just come out and just visit and go on for a balloon ride?
Our website, which is an excellent website, is ocgp.org.
Orange County Great Park.
There you got it, ocgp.org.
There you go. That makes it simple. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for allowing us to come over here and to visit and meet you guys and see what you got going on. And I encourage everybody to do the same exact thing. Come on out here. It's a great family event. The people that we've met over here so far are just so nice and warm, and I'm sure you'd like to be a part of that as well.